Okay, so with this white, we're just going to go for a plain look made out of the full roses. I'm going to cut, I've just basically just folded it in half, and I'm just going to cut the lining to the size slightly less than the size of the, so just about, what I'll do is I'll cut it. I know I'll have to do 2 cuts, but it's just a lot easier to just cut it around. Now, and then once we've cut it, we'll just take away a little bit of the excess. What's going to happen is if I make it to this size, what's going to happen is it's going to be too. Okay, just refold it in half and then take away an inch all the way around. We want it slightly shorter than the dress. Now generally, I mean, there wasn't really much point to showing this, but the reason why I want to show this is because I'm not going to add any border, and generally adding a border is a lot easier than adding anything else. What we're going to do is just cut white straight strips of bias, and we're going to pipe it. So this material has already been cut on a bias, and I'm just going to take about 1.5 inches. I won't cut it so thin so that it gives me enough room because the fabric is a little bit thick and we don't want it to not overlap and cover the raw unsalvaged edges. We're probably going to require about 3 lengths of this. This is about a meter, so just to be safe side, we're going to cut 3 of these. Now you can, if you wanted, you can contrast this in some other color. I'm just going to go for a full white look. And I'm going to do a slight bit of a cheat because obviously this is quite a full dress, full-on dress. So we're not going to bother adding any contrasting piping or anything. The only thing we're going to do is cut the lining exactly the same as the dress part. And I think I'm going to have enough left over from this to make baby Sarah an outfit, because you know, when these really doesn't require a lot of material. A lot of this, you know, you can, if you're just a little bit careful with your cutting and so on, you can easily get so much excess left out of this. That is, and I would advise not to, you know, overcut and to waste. That's not my style. I hate wasting. So we're going to use a very simple method of sewing with this as well. This dress is literally going to be ready in minutes, because all we're going to do is just stitch around the armhole, stitch around the neckline, turn it, notch it and turn it over. The same at the back. Attach the border and the thingy together, and basically just run a straight seam all the way across and then turn over the hem. So it's going to be quite a simple. Now I have a tendency to, you know, all my offcuts and stuff, I have a tendency to just keep them piled. What I'll try and do is I'll try and, you know, even from the offcuts, I'll try and spend today in just making, because I've got all the fabrics lying around, I'll try and finish that, you know, whatever pieces I've got as well, and whatever I can make. And it's amazing, just out of, I think my biggest fascination is generally the best outcome is from the little offcuts. So that's baby Sarah's all cut up and done. Well, it's not going to be baby Sarah's, it's actually a little bit a big size. Now what I've got is I'm just going to quickly put all these pieces away that we've cut for that particular dress. Put them all to a side, and what we've got is this. Okay, we've got this left, and then we've got little bits left. So let's see what we can muster up from this. I don't, you know, it's like the offcuts are generally better results than the real thing. What I'll do is, I think I will replicate this in the same design as the originals that we made, but we'll use a plain net. So what we're going to get out of this is I'm only going to cut two florals. She's only right little. The problem I've had is I've sewn the dresses thinking they were her size, but they're a little bit too big. I tried them on Yahya last night, and funnily enough they fitted him. So, you know, it's so easy to overdo it. I'm telling you, so easy to overdo it. And the whole point is, on little babies, is really, you know, it's just really so small pieces that you can get the result out from. You don't really need a lot at all. We tend to be a little bit overly. I don't know what colour I'm going to use with this, but anyway, it's a start. So that's for the border. That's the 3 trims for the border. So now we've got, see, have a look at all the bits that we've got left over. Okay, so we've got this one left over. And then, now the whole, I think the challenge is generally you get little bits, and it's the dish that you can cook out of those little bits. For me, that's for me. I love cooking the dish out of just little things. What to somebody else is a waste is a challenge, and I like to call this a ready steady sew. If you've ever watched the series Ready Steady Cook. Okay, that's the 2 back, and as you can see, I don't measure, I just go with the flow, and normally you can do perfectly fine by going with the flow. Now this one, we are going to have a little bit of a joint in the middle, because it's not enough to There we are. Now just as quickly as we cut this, we're going to quickly cut the bottom portion to this and get rid of these extra pieces, because knowing me, I'll probably start thinking, what can I do with these? Get rid of all this excess. Tend to collect the clutter. Right, okay. We've got the leftover silk as well, and we've got some white net, we've got some gold net, we've got some green net, we've got some navy blue net. Shall we go with the navy blue? We've got a piece of this navy blue. Right, we'll go with the navy blue net, and we're going to do a slight bit of a variation. Right, we've got these two absolutely identical, but what we'll do is we're going to do a slight bit of a variation. So I'm going to keep these at distance, a different distance, and I'm going to cut them, measure for the waistline, which we're going to do 9 inches. And then we're going to do a circle. Now this is for the waistline, And this one, what we're going to do is we're going to put gathers in this one. So this will go on top of that, the original. And what we'll do with this is we're going to cut this single, and we're going to attach this on the hem of both of those little dresses. So we're going to have like a double rara type of a skirt, and all I've done is just extended this, made this into wider, and I'm going to put gathers, then attach them both at the same, you know, so it's going to be like a rara type of a skirt to go with this dress. So with this I'm going to cut the white lining, and this is going to be like an extra tiny little frock. Anyway, that's how designs come about, especially when you sort of do like a complete little thing and you know you haven't really thought about it, you just go with the spur of the moment sort of thing. So again, I mean, personally I wouldn't mind having this as two, but then I'm not gonna have, I might do the two at the bottom and one at the top. We'll see how, get the rest of the dress done first. Now with this I need a lining in the navy for the bottom portion and the white lining for the top portion. So, and then we've still got, you know what, we've still got sort of like this left over in the blue. I'm going to do something else with this. Okay, that is going to go, these two are going to go around the sleeve. So these are going to be like a little frilly sleeves, and this one I want to do it around the neck. No, I'm going to leave the neck, I'm just going to do the sleeve. But what I might do with the sleeve is I don't want to risk it, so what we're going to do is we're going to cut this down a little bit. Now this is totally totally unprepared. I had no real plan to do this. So this is like a spare of the moment type of thing, which I'm sharing with you. And you know, this type of thing, right, you can only do with net, because if you were to do this kind of thing with other materials, I'm telling you, you would not be able to, because you can't turn the edges and stuff. And that's basically just using this was about a yard of net, and you know, in minutes you can just whip up the idea and whip up the whole thing and just carry it out. Okay, so with this white dress, added no piping, basically just stitched around the armhole and the inner side of the neck, notched it, turned it over and pressed it. These are the two back portions, exactly the same with the front, around the armhole, around the neckline, notched it, turned it over. Now what we're going to do is we're going to trap this on the inside shoulder area of both the upper portions of the shoulder. So we're going to keep this as it is, but this we're going to turn it inside out.
I really want this dress.
And we're going to push this inside of here so that the right side of the net is facing the right side. Place it so that it's sitting absolutely spot on against the edge, and just stitch across, making sure to double seam. Get a point of the needle, get the hold of the inner portion, and just keep it stretched so that it reaches the end of sometimes, you know, with your fingers you can't actually do this so well, so you make sure to take that right to the corner and then just double stitch back and forth. Again, the other side, turn it inside out. Push this, yeah, with your fingers, just pull that out, up above and just to the top of the shoulder point, making sure to meet the 2 points nicely. And if you have to create just a small bit of a crease even on the back, it doesn't matter, as long as your points of your edge of your shoulder and your neckline are matching perfectly. So once you've done that, clip away the thread and turn this back inside out, and what you'll have is all the raw unsalvaged edges, they'll be trapped on the inside of the armhole. We're going to do the same thing on the side of the shoulder. Place this to the point of, turn the inside lining fabric over and just stitch so the two silks are together, the two necks are together, and stitch all the way down. Again, turn away the threads and turn over, and it should give you a closed armhole and it will give you a neat edged finishing. Do the same. Okay. Do the same on the other side.
It's freezing outside.
You're placing the two
It's freezing.
fabrics together. And just running that seam.
I'm not going to give up if she doesn't answer. The car is home.
Well, she doesn't. That says that she doesn't want to play with you.
She was.
You shouldn't always keep on pestering people,
Ouch.
knocking on their door.
I don't want.
No, well, she's probably busy. Maybe she's having something to eat or something.
I already had a breakfast. I saw her.
Naya, sometimes people are doing things that they don't want you to be interrupting them. It's rude to keep on interrupting people.
Stop speaking on the camera.
I am speaking on the camera.
No, you're not.
I'm speaking to Inaya and teaching her some good things, teaching her some manners.
I have got some manners.
Have you? Really?
Yes.
I hope so. So we're just gonna run this seam all the way across.
Especially with her to watch the rest of this video.
Do you think so?
Yeah.
Well, she sent me a message yesterday. So I sent her, just hold on. I sent her your photo.
What did she say? What did she say?
Yeah, so I've done the seaming. I've decided on attaching a red piece of fabric. I've attached a ribbon to this fabric. It's just a centerpiece where it's going to have a tie. I've just tied it in, double folded it and just tied it in to the bodice area. Attach the belt portion. And basically what we're going to do now is just attach the two together. Just the bodice and the skirt coming together. I've seamed the lining and the portion together anyway, just to keep them intact and easier to handle. It's like a connecting seam. Now this, I'm going to just turn this over because I want it as one as the underside and one as the overside. So as we got to the edge, you can overlock the edges if you like, and voila. Now the only thing that we've got to do now on this is add the trim to this. This is like the tie back. We're going to add the buttons and trim to this. Really needs pressing before we. There we are. Just a little bit of a preview. I'm going to go on to add the trim. The trim is just, you know, the could have done with some red actually, but just to give it a little bit more definition to go with the red. But we're going to try and keep it simple. On this, these strips that we'd cut out, we're going to just do a seam, and this is like on a cross. I'd rather just be safe. I think we're going to have enough, to be honest. Try and work that this is on the back. This is bias cut, and we're going to leave just a little bit of, like, say, an inch and a half, and just start attaching this turned over double. And we're going to attach this all the way around and then turn it on itself and run a seam all the way across, and hopefully that will be the finishing of this dress. We're going to go straight on to making the Rara one that we done similar to this in a very small minute size. I wasn't keen on wasting any of the fabric, so I wanted to use everything, and that's really the beauty of sewing, that you can create the most fascinating designs out of even the leftover remnants that you would otherwise put in the bin. And it's those little remnants that create those beautiful, beautiful dresses. And it's all about the time that you spend, because obviously you know, one thing we should be valuing our time, and sadly people don't value their time in this day and age. They actually sit in front of the TV, they sit in front of the computers and do pointless things, watch dramas which are a total utter waste of time. I don't know how anybody can watch, nosy into the people's lives and get enjoyment from all the problems that families are having in dramas, which they're focusing on. How a mother-in-law connives and plans against her daughter-in-law, and how and don't take me wrong, you know what, there was once upon a time I used to watch them too, and now I think back and I think, oh my god, how stupid. You know, sometimes you have the TV on and you'd watch something like EastEnders and you think, oh my god, time has stood still for these people. These are same actors, same people that were acting, living on the same state back in 1982 or 1979 when EastEnders came out, or was it 1980 or something, and they're still living on the same street, doing the same job. How sad. And we watch it, and we watched it for like that long as well. Oh my god, how silly is that? Isn't it time people just grew up and said goodbye to these dramas? Don't we have enough drama in our own lives to commit ourselves to watching others make stupid, foolish mistakes? Okay, so we're running just a little bit short as I anticipated, but then took a gamble. What we'll do is we'll stop here and we'll leave enough space to add a further piece to this. I did cut 3 pieces, but then I was thinking, oh, I'll just make it in that, which I didn't.